everybody. Welcome to the Volley Program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. Whew, it is going to be a great 4 years. I have a feeling this is going to be a fun show tonight. I'm feeling a lot of entertainment from the news today. A lot of good times coming our way very soon. The future's so bright. I got to wear shades. Oh, this is looking, things are starting to look really, really, really good. And to be honest with you, what we really should be looking to do is to really mirror, to try and match the energy. This is not the time to let up. This is not the time to slow down. No. We need to match the energy of El Presidente, Argentina, Javier Milei.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
¿Pero me podés definir zurdo de mierda? Que no
Todos
lo
los que, digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea... A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque son una mierda. O sea,
vos mezclás...
No,
pero
es que si pensás distinto te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto. Es decir, vos al zurdo no le podés dar un milímetro, porque le das un milímetro y lo toma para destrozarte. Es decir, vos no podés negociar con el zurdo. No se negocia con esa mierda, no se negocia porque te van a llevar puesto. Si tienen un golpeador que caga trompadas a la mujer, digamos, si es de ellos, ¿entendés? Se pone el pañuelito verde y grita todo el tiempo contra el neoliberalismo, lo ocultan. ¿Me entendés? O sea, si de repente hay alguien que acosó a un periodista que acosa a otra periodista, lo ocultan. Es decir, a todos los de ellos lo ocultan. Todas esas aberraciones la ocultan. Ahora, si vos estás del otro lado, a vos te van a
Left is left. It doesn't matter whether you're in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere. Left is left. They're the same socialists, the same trash. It doesn't matter. Western hemisphere, eastern hemisphere. Left is left. They're the same. It's the same. They lived through the horrors that the left here would put us through, that they would happily put us through. This guy is helping his country dig his way out of it. Look at that fierce mug. Everything about him looks fierce, from the hair, the size of his head, the eyes, everything is fierce. And that's what we got to be.
Tropear. Te van a matar, te van a dar con lo que sea. No les importa arruinarte la vida. ¿Por qué? Porque no pensás como ellos. ¿Y sabes qué es lo bueno de todo esto? Hay algo bueno en todo esto. Porque como el error es humano, como todos nos podemos equivocar, ¿sabes qué nos obligan? Nos obligan a ser mejores. Y como estamos siendo tan mejores que ellos, como los estamos aplastando en la batalla cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente, somos superiores estéticamente, somos mejores en todo. Y les duele. Entonces, como no pueden pelear con las herramientas legítimas.
It's amazing that even the same language, the same cultural language of triggers, which is such a weird that only came in vogue like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. That the word triggers has filtered its way to the southern hemisphere.
Se apalancan en el aparato represivo del Estado, poniendo torres de guita para hacernos mierda. Y aún así no pueden. Tuvieron que bajar la nota. ¿Me entendés? Que están perdiendo. Están desesperados, están perdiendo la batalla cultural. Los zurdos de mierda, por primera vez, se ven acorralados. Los zurdos de mierda.
So there you go. That is Javier Milei. Javier Milei. That's before he won election. A lot of people knew him from this video. This video right here. Everyone knows, people who heard of him from America, from the North America. They remember him from this video right here.
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación, afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social, afuera. Ministerio de Educación, adoctrinamiento, afuera. Ministerio de Transporte, afuera. Ministerio de Salud, afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social, afuera. Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
Hello,
everybody, and welcome back.
He's so good. He's so good. So you might say something. Okay, he became president. He's been president now for like what, a year now. He won a while ago. How's that been working out? How's that been working out? What's been going on? Well, breaking. Argentina, led by President Javier Milei, has sustained fiscal surplus free of default for the first time in 123 years. For the first time in 123 years. That's what Afuera did. For the first time in 123 years. Oh, my God. Tell me we don't need that. Which is why you should be very enthused by the individual who shared this, because it's the American version of Afuera, American Indian version by the name of Vivek Ramaswamy, saying if he can do it, we can do it. This is why you should be very excited, very, very excited for what's coming down the pike. Very, very excited. Because Afuera is coming. Afuera. He's become like the role model for what works financially. It's like, what are you going to say? I mean, you and I understand it intellectually. You and I appreciate it. This is why we're sitting here on this side of the aisle, conservative side of the aisle. The tired of fiat money side of the aisle. No, we're sitting here saying we need to be like somewhat fiscally conscious as to the ramifications of what's happening here, instead of just frittering. And you get an endowment, and you get a grant, and you get some freaking loan that you're never going to pay back. No, those days are over. And you get a new government agency, and you get new buildings, and you get 87,000 new agents. To hell with this. To hell with it. Afuera. Afuera is coming to a country near you. Afuera is coming. It is coming. You should be very excited by it. You should be very, very hopeful for where our future is going. Certain folks are not too happy about that. Certain folks are not too happy about the direction that America seems to be leaning right now, because if you're an establishmentarian, then you're used to sucking off the very fat teat of the American taxpayer. You're used to sucking off of the very rich and nourishing teat that you've been bleeding dry. It's sore and achy at this point. You think that tap's going to run forever. Some little infant, afraid to be weaned off of it. So everyone was, when Trump announced Kash Patel was going to be his new FBI director. This is Mr. Clean House of the FBI. That got some people very bothered, and the one hope they had was that Chris Wray he's under contract for another 3 years. He's under the contract for another 3 years. But yesterday, Fay Wray said, I'll step down. I'm going to step down. At the end of when Trump comes in, I am going to scurry away like a rat. And here is Legacy Media reporting on it. Reporting on Trump's reaction to the announcement yesterday from Chris Wray that he's going to be stepping down.
Kristen. Well, Brianna and Boris, we just got a statement from Donald Trump on Truth Social moments ago where he is essentially celebrating the resignation of Christopher Wray. Unsurprisingly, he says the resignation of Christopher Wray is a great day for America, as it will end the weaponization of what has become known as the United States Department of Injustice. Obviously, we've heard him say this before.
We've heard President Biden say that before too, when he was pardoning his son. He basically referred to it as the Department of Injustice. We've heard him say that before. This is why you're failing. This is why you're a failure. You're a failure in every way imaginable. This is just like we've heard him say that before. Who isn't saying it? Who isn't? You're the only folks pretending that it's not. You and your peers.
Just don't know what happened to him. We will now restore the rule of law for all Americans. Under the leadership of Christopher Wray, the FBI illegally raided my home without cause, worked diligently on illegally impeaching and indicting me, and has done everything else to interfere with the success and future of America. The gate goes on, but I do want to kind of stop here because I think this is really the key of where Donald Trump's head was at when it came to Christopher Wray and the FBI. This was the real turning point with Christopher Wray, was when his house was searched, not raided.
Not raided. No, searched. Innocently searched. With photos taken where they basically they basically threw around the room different files as if that's how we store classified files all over the floor there and just started snapping away. Snap, 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 snap. Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. All right, it doesn't make sounds like that. It's bad. It's those. Well, look, I'm not some third wheel from Police Academy. I don't make the good sound effects. That's not why you're here. You're not here for my sound effects. But you get the point. Hey, so this is she yada yada over the balance of his true social statement. Which that's just not how I roll. No. We need to actually see the full true social statement. What did she yada 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 over? What did she skip past? And it just goes on and on. What he wrote was the resignation of Christopher Wray is a great day for America. And the weaponization was become known as the United States Department of Injustice. I just don't know what happened to him. We'll now restore the rule of law for all Americans. Under the leadership of Christopher Wray, the FBI illegally raided my home without cause, worked diligently on illegally impeaching and indicting me, and has done everything else to interfere with the success and future of America. They have used their vast powers to threaten and destroy many innocent Americans. They didn't want you to cover that. Some which will never be able to cover from what has been done to them. CNN doesn't want to tell you about that part. No. Kash Patel is the most qualified nominee to lead the FBI in the agency's history. He's committed to helping ensure that law, order, and justice will be brought back to our country again and soon. As everyone knows, I have great respect for the rank and file of the FBI, and they have great respect for me. They want to see these changes every bit as much as I do. But more importantly, the American people are demanding a strong, fair system of justice. We want our FBI back, and that will now happen. I look forward to Kash Patel's confirmation that the process of making the FBI great again can begin. Thank you. That was the part of the statement that got yada yada yada. Let's go back to their stupid report. Let's see if there's anything useful here.
But searched in 2022 for classified documents by the FBI. This ultimately led to his indictment, Donald Trump's indictment in 2023. But this was clearly a turning point for Donald Trump when it came to Christopher Wray. Now, it was
you mean becoming the first president to have FBI come barreling in there with orders of shoot to kill if you get resistance like that? Oh, okay. That was his turning point, not the FBI's turning point. See, that's the framing. That was the FBI's. The FBI had never done that to any former president before. The FBI never acted that way with any former president before. Yeah, it was a turning point, definitely. We all remember it because we couldn't believe what was happening. We couldn't believe what the hell is happening here. What are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Gosh, unbelievable. So, where was I? Don Mannion's hit me with a big 50. Why is that not working? Oh, hold on a second. I got it. Hold on a second. when someone in Rumble, someone in the ghetto ponies up $50, they want your attention. They want your attention. They deserve the bell, and I don't know why I don't have. Where's my bell? I don't have a bell. Where the hell's where's my war horn? I know how to get it back. I'm wise to the system. See, I restarted my computer. It's never a good idea. There it is. There it is. Okay, now we can continue. He says, Joe, we need to get something straight. I do not hate you, but I always point out that you are not better than others. I don't remember claiming to be better than others. I don't remember ever making that claim. Okay, well, actually, no, I have probably made that claim. I don't remember asking you to tell me I'm better than others. When I started this stream, and I happened to be in the ghetto when Dom Mannion, I'm going to share with you. Oh, man, when I popped it out. Why did it die on me like that? That's not cool. All right, we'll do it this way. We'll share it this way. Just so you could all see. Just so you could all see that, like, this is how things started. This is how I start my night. I want you all to see how I start my night. I set the stream up. I come in. I come into the ghetto because I wanted to copy over the link. I wanted to copy over the link and share it on locals. And I peek in to the ghetto. And I see the first line here, the top line here, the chat. That's the only chat that I see. My disappointment in Joe never dies. And I said, now what? Because we have a running joke between us about how I'm like, you're always hating on me, Dom. You're always hating on me. And I don't know, you still come back here night after night. It's almost like you're some kind of masochist or something. I don't know what's happening here. You're always hating on me. My disappointment. I like the eloquence with which you wrote that. I can appreciate that. My disappointment in Joe never dies. It's like, what did I do now? It's like every time I peek in there, I see Dom. He's like, oh, great. Now he's going to waste time talking about this. This is boring. Move along. I'm like, he's easily my harshest critic who never misses a night. I got harsher critics. But they don't come back for more and more pain and suffering listening to me ramble on night after night. So, anyway, I know it's meant out of love. I know it's meant out of love. Oh my God. Turning point or turning point. Also, please be sure to hit that like button and show some love to the channel. That'd be really nice. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Drop Barracuda hit me with 5 new members to the following. Welcome to the following. Who'd you bring in here? Who'd you bring to us? You brought us Janella Rella. She knows, she gets the following. She understands, she appreciates it. Welcome to the following, Janelle Lorella. Also bringing in Mona Moon, Pope Brackets Touched Me, Denisha Blyther, and Sandy, all them new members of the following, courtesy of Spuds. If you're a new member, courtesy of Spuds, I ask you to please express your gratitude to that man for bringing you into a gathering of what is arguably the greatest gathering of intellectual curiosity and personal growth of the last quarter millennia or so, arguably. That's debatable. It's in the ballpark for sure. Everyone understands that. So welcome to Following It. Please say thank you to my good friend here, Spuds. So, and Jenna also hitting with another 5. Who'd you bring in? Who'd you bring into the Following? Just get that out of the way. She brought in Steffi, Spud11, not to be confused with Spuds. She brought in Spud11. NZ Family, King Ranger 333, and Carbon Heart. Look at that. Look at that. Welcome to the Following. If you're new, and some of those names look a little new to me, if you're new, please know that I'm sitting here. The Following is not at all a cult. Okay? It's not at all a cult, type of cult. And I am not the leader of the Following. This is something that I need. A lot of people get very confused about this. So let me be crystal clear. I am not the leader of the Following. I'm just a host. I start every night by saying I'm your host, Joe Neiman, aka Good Lawgic. That's the clue. That's the clue right there. All right. So Ray's gone, or at least he will be by the time Trump comes in. And then we got this. The day after he announces he's retirement, he's out of here. Also, we start getting J6 committee reports as to like the actual truth behind January 6th. And we're going to spend a few minutes watching some of Jesse Waters reporting on the highlights of this report. And oh my God.
Fox News alert, the Justice Department just released the bombshell report that we've been waiting for. What actually happened on January 6th? The FBI had 26 confidential human sources there that day.
26, not 3 or 4, 20, dozens confidential human sources that they admit to. 26 they admit to.
26. A confidential human source is a guy the FBI pays to spy for them. Of the 26 confidential human...
A paid snitch is really what a confidential human source, not an agent. Supposedly 0 agents. 0. If you believe that, I am sorry. You're an ignoramus. There is no other word. You are a complete and utter ignoramus. There is 0 chance that there were 0 actual agents anywhere in or around the Capitol. I don't believe. Yeah, I think you have to be crazy. 26 paid snitches who are not actual agents. God knows how many actual agents were there.
Human sources who were in D.C. on Jan 6th. 4 entered the Capitol during the riot. An additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. So more than a dozen FBI spies participated in the so-called insurrection. A bunch of them broke into the Capitol. Their own inspector general says this is what happened. But that's not what they told you when they testified under oath.
Those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th, how many were there?
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
I thought I heard you say you didn't know whether there were FBI agents or informants or human sources in the Capitol or in the vicinity on January 6th. Did I misunderstand you? I thought that's what you said.
Well, I referred very specifically to undercover agents.
Yeah.
Let's play games with semantics.
And so are you acknowledging then there were undercover agents?
As I sit here right now, I do not believe there were undercover agents on scene.
The inspector was hiding something, so Congress asked the question a different way. Listen.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did.
Why are they there? What's the objective? What's the goal? Where's the video of every of every, I mean, I want every video of all of those CHS. You can blur out their faces so that this way you don't burn a source. Blur their faces. If you have to blur their clothing, that's fine. You could show us the shadow of where they are, where their hands are, exactly what they're doing. So this way they can stay confidential human sources, not looking to expose anyone. I'm not looking to have anyone get lynched or, you know, some member of a group, you know, be like, oh my God, that guy's a rat. We have to, like, you know, we have to deal with this as we see fit. No, I'm not looking to see anyone get harmed. But why can't they blur out the face? Let us know. Let us see what exactly they were doing. How were they participating here? We're never going to see that.
Did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentleman's time has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision not to share information.
Director Wray,
Confidential.
gentleman's time.
Ray's right. The FBI didn't have undercover agents at January 6th.
They
had confidential human sources. So what's the difference? Well, a confidential human source doesn't get health insurance or a pension. They're just freelancing for the feds. Rats in MAGA hats. They're basically paid informants that the FBI runs out of headquarters. A lot of these FBI rats get picked up on some other charge. They get sat down and the FBI says, you're going to work for me now. And if you don't, you're looking at 20 years to life. So these guys say, yes, sir. And they cozy up to people like the Proud Boys and anyone the feds wants to watch and control from the inside. And these confidential human sources are under pressure to deliver. What does deliver mean? It means intelligence and big busts that get the FBI good headlines. According to the Inspector General report, the spies were feeding the FBI intel that said January 6th was going to get a little hairy. But FBI headquarters did nothing about it and then lied to Congress and said they did. So why did headquarters let January 6th get so out of hand? And what were all these FBI spies doing that day and the days before? Were they riling everyone up like they did in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot? In that case, the FBI informants instigated the plot. They even used an FBI credit card to buy the ammo, supplies, and hotel rooms.
I think in that case, there was like 8 out of 12 of them were FBI on the FBI payroll.
FBI pay for Jan 6 hotel rooms? We don't know. Remember, the media and the Democrats said this whole thing was a conspiracy.
Where do you think this idea comes from, that this was somehow done by the feds?
I heard that one of the debaters said it was an inside job. It's an inside job on the part of Donald Trump and his henchmen.
Republicans have blamed the FBI and said it was an inside job.
It certainly was not an inside job by FBI.
Liars, liars, your pants are on fire.
Agents or Antifa, they go around blaming it on Antifa and FBI agents.
Well, how did the media know it wasn't an inside job when the FBI had 26 of their people on the inside? January 6th certainly benefited the media, the FBI, and the Democrats.
Everything about January 6th benefited the media, the FBI, and the Democrats. Everything about it.
1,500 arrests, humiliated Trump, got him impeached, criminalized the MAGA movement. Trump got indicted over January 6th, remember?
It got us all labeled, millions of us labeled as the biggest threat to America is the domestic terrorism from Ultra MAGA. You think he would have gone away with saying that if not for January 6th? Of course not. Of course not. They showed that video over and over and over again. How many of the instigators were actually on the FBI payroll?
They tried to throw him in prison over this. The January 6th committee, it's all Democrats did for 2 years. Why didn't the committee find any of these snitches? They did a one-sided investigation and teed up Garland to charge Trump so they could run against a convicted felon. So the media is going to apologize, right? No. The media today is cherry-picking the report to say there were no undercover agents there on January 6th. The whole thing's a conspiracy. These aren't articles. They're FBI press releases. And they wonder why their ratings are trash and no one trusts them.
This is why. This is why we need an overhaul of everything happening there. This is why we need transparency. This is why we need to get to the bottom of what the hell is happening.
Because of this. They don't want the truth. They want to hide it if it hurts the left. And they can't admit they were wrong because it's too embarrassing. And they were a part of the cover-up. But the FBI is worse than the media. The FBI knew what was in this report. They covered it up before the election. And then the director says he's resigning the day before it comes out. Give me a break. This kind of sliminess is why Trump nominated Kash Patel. I wonder what else Kash is going to find in the bureau when he looks under the hood.
As a former federal prosecutor and a public defender who defended a lot of these types of cases, what you need to show is whether or not the FBI and government agents were using undercover operatives and informants on the day of January 6th. Once you prove that, then you defeat the insurrection narrative with the FBI's own documentation.
And what does this report do to the January 6th defendants? None of the confidential informants were arrested or charged. These guys were right alongside everyone walking into the Capitol. But you're in prison for years? Now, if you're a defense attorney for a Jan 6er and this drops after the case was decided, that could change everything. Constitutional law professor John.
Brady law violations right there. It's a Brady law violation. For all you know, if you're a lawyer, your client was instigated by the FBI. And that could help exonerate your client, that they wouldn't have been convicted. Free them all. Every single one of them. Free them all.
Jonathan Turley says this, quote, there is a question of why the confidential human sources who entered the Capitol were not charged as part of an operation that the Justice Department described as an effort to shock and awe, targeting everyone involved that day. This report does not find specific wrongdoing or direction from confidential human sources in the rioting. Congress, however, is likely to seek more information on these sources and their conduct on the day.
Kash Patel is likely to get that pretty quickly.
Are you allowed to commit crimes as a spy for the FBI and not get charged? Because they said this was the greatest attack on democracy ever. Said it was up there with 9/11. Traitors.
9/11 times, it's 9/11 times Pearl Harbor.
They said seditionists. They're off scot-free. You can try to overthrow the government if you're an FBI rat and just walk away. Congress has to find out. And what does this mean for pardons? I mean, the Hunter Biden pardon already greased the runway for Trump, but this reports all the ammo Trump needs. He told Time Magazine, it's going to start in the first hour, maybe the first 9 minutes. Now, if I were president, I don't think I'd pardon J6ers who were slugging cops, but if you were wandering around...
I would. After this report, if they're slugging cops, it's where they spend 20 years in jail? What is that? I mean, seriously, like how long? How long do they spend in jail? How long do they have to deal with this? Free them all. Every single one. I don't care. You know what? Don't free anyone who actually committed murder. If you find someone from January 6th who's convicted of murder, yeah, don't free that guy. The rest of them free, which means free them all. Speaking of Trump's house being raided by the FBI, nobody asked the question, why was Pete Diddy's home was raided by Homeland Security, not the FBI in Miami and LA, and yet is being tried in New York? I asked that at the time. I was very curious about that at the time. It is interesting. Those snitches had to be supervised and directed by agents to get things to go down the way they wanted them to. P.S. We lowly cultists want the holiday tracksuits to be coordinated with the track shoes this year. I really got to get on that.
Peacefully? Come on. And it's not just Kash Patel that's going to clean house. Tulsi's on deck.
I'm here with Tulsi Gabbard. She's here on the Hill meeting with my colleagues. She's going to be a great DNI, a Director of National Intelligence. It's a really important job. It oversees all of our intelligence agencies, and it's in need of reform. I think everybody would admit that. And so we need to bring in
We need a strong military. Just cleanse all the woke right out of it.
a reformer.
Yeah, the deep state's never been this backed into a corner, ever. We have Trump assassination files that we want to release, JFK assassination files, COVID files, Epstein, Diddy. What about that pipe bomb? Is the FBI still working on that one? Who planted that?
So much coming. So much coming. So much coming.
It's just another conspiracy theory that you were right about. The lab leak, the laptop, and now Jan 6. No wonder Biden's under pressure to dish out more pardons. Who knows how high this thing goes?
Unbelievable. It's a great report there by Jesse Waters. Great report. And yeah, there's a lot of dirt. There's a lot of scandals. I was on with Cool Frog earlier today. I shared a link to it when I was jumping on there. And we were talking about how, like, we always hear about all these scandals, and it's sort of very frustrating that we never know. We never get the truth. We never find out. We all just sit here speculating, thinking we know. We never get it. Maybe now we will. I don't know. If not, I'll be very disappointed in Cash. The cops started the violence, shooting road bulls and tear gas into the crowd that wasn't doing anything at the time. That's why they fought back. There was definitely willful escalation happening there. Definitely willful escalation that was happening there. We should talk a little bit about CNN and the death of legacy media. I think we should spend a little time talking about that. The reason the Gates investigation opened even after the cops closed the file was so they'd have ammunition. The entire thing is just about how do we control the next news cycle. And they're not loving how their lack of control over it right now. The left keeps freaking out about like all the different appointments that Trump is making. Trying to like basically gin up all their fear. But their tactics, their scare tactics, are falling on deaf ears because people are just tired of hearing their BS. They've burnt out their gaslighting. It's like there's no more gas. It's like everyone's just like, all right, just go away. They've sprung so many leaks. And this was not murder by alternative media. This was not murder by Trump. No, this was suicide. This was legacy media's suicide. That they gutted their own credibility by gaslighting and gaslighting and gaslighting. So now, if you go on social media, you'll see the left screaming about that Kash Patel is the least qualified person ever, and Tulsi Gabbard is the least qualified, and Pete Hegseth is the least qualified. How's that resonating with Americans? How's that working for you, huh?
President. A majority of Americans, 54%, say they expect him to do a good job as president. And we asked specifically, do you have confidence in all of these areas about how Trump will perform and his ability to handle it? And once again, as we saw throughout the campaign, the economy is issue number one of his strength. 65%, 2/3 of Americans in this poll say they have some or a...
This is a CNN poll. This is them talking to their own people.
lot of confidence in Trump's ability to manage and handle the economy as president. And you see Russia, Ukraine follow there, then immigration, and his leadership skills, his what he intends to use his power for, whether that'll be responsibly not.
54% say appointing the best people. This is with him announcing Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard and RFK. Oh my God, he's a crazy president. He got dolphin head. He got grizzly bear. He's hauling off to Central Park. He's going to kill us all and ruin vaccinations. This is what CNN roundtable discussions are about night after night after night, about the incoming disaster of Donald. No one's listening. No one's listening to you, you idiots. No one's listening. Everyone's just, you lost. You lost the information war. You gutted your own credibility and lost the information war.
A bit lower, but again, all of this is majority support. So that is where things stand right now. President.
So you might ask yourself, what are some of the signs? Sure, you're saying they lost. You're saying they lost. What are some of the signs of that? Well, here's one. Here's Pete Hegseth. and his thoughts about the significance of CNN.
Do you believe that gay people should be allowed to serve in the military?
Yes.
You said, can you just respond to the CNN report this morning? It was highlighting some of your previous comments.
I don't feel the need to respond to CNN.
You are comfortable with gay people openly serving in the military.
Did you hear what I said there?
Thank you.
I don't feel the need to respond to CNN. Why not? They're very, very serious news outlets. Why would you not feel? Why would you not feel the need? I don't understand. Why would you not feel the need? Maybe it's because of stuff like this. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just stuff like this, which makes it very hard to take them seriously. Very, very hard to take them seriously. Look at this picture. See anything weird in this picture? Ask yourself, just look at this picture and ask yourself, do you see anything weird? Anything odd in this picture? CNN. Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, he, him. Really? Did you ask him? How do you know? How do you know he's a he, him? Did you actually ask Abu Muhammad al-Jolani if he's a he, him? Maybe he's a they, them. Maybe a she, her. How do you know? How do you know? He, him. Oh my God. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I bet anything they didn't actually, this is not even actually accurate information because I'm positive they didn't ask him. I'm positive they just assumed his gender there. Where do you have the audacity to assume his gender? How do you know? So that's the sort of thing which makes people question their credibility. But if you think that's bad, for their credibility, it gets worse. It gets worse. This was not trying to show how meaningful and impactful they are, how important and significant they are. CNN sends correspondents out to the Middle East to cover stories for us all so they can actually break news for us. And sometimes they themselves become part of the news, as we see in this story.
Our world leaders, Syria's new rebel leaders say they will not pardon Assad regime officials who tortured and killed prisoners during the decades of his brutal reign. CNN's Clarissa Ward went to a Syrian prison to find someone still locked in a cell with no idea that Assad's regime had fallen.
Clarissa Ward went to Syria and found some guy locked in his cell, no idea that Syria had fallen days ago. Really? That's amazing. Really? Really? That's what happened? I gotta see this guy. Let's see this unfold.
Deep in the belly of the regime's Air Force intelligence headquarters,
these are English letters.
We are hoping to find traces of Austin Tice, an American journalist held captive in Syria since 2012. It's one of many secret prisons across the city. This specific branch was tasked with surveillance, arrest, and killing of all regime critics.
These are all cleaned up.
We don't find any hints of Tice, but come across something extraordinary.
I can't tell though. It might just be a blanket, but it's the only cell that's locked.
So we're going to happen to look in the only cell that's locked, which looks like a blanket. But let's check this out because this is very important that we should check out this blanket. This very mysterious looking blanket in a locked cell. The only cell in the entire building that's locked. No other cells are locked but this cell. And there's some blankets in there, which we need to check out the blankets. It's a good thing they do because you're going to see that this is going to be a humanitarian rescue effort because it looked like just a bunch of blankets. But thankfully, thank God, CNN was on the scene in order to help free this poor prisoner.
Is he going to shoot it?
The guard makes us turn the camera off while he shoots the lock off the cell door.
I'm gonna force you to turn the camera off, but let you hear the report of the gun being and trust that you're not gonna be filming me. Oh, okay. This is really happening here. Maybe it's just a bunch of blankets. Maybe it's really for nothing. We're shooting the cell open.
We go in to get a closer look.
We go in to get a closer look at someone who, for all we know, if there is a person there, is a homicidal maniac. Then I'm just going to walk first in over here and check out this scene. We don't know anything about this prisoner, no idea why this prisoner was there, and I'm just going to go in there, my little red scarf, my uncovered hair, not at all disrespectful in Muslim culture, and I'm just going to wander on in there and not worry that the person in there is going to behead me. Not at all worried about that. No, because it's brave Clarissa Ward.
It's still not clear if there is something under the blanket.
Oh, it moved. Is there someone there?
Notice no toilet or bucket in the cell, and this is clean up. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Is someone there? Or is it just a blanket? I don't know.
Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's just a blanket. I really don't know. We have to get to the bottom of this.
Hello? Okay, I just go there.
There's no rats here. There's no dirt. The cell looks like it's been washed down. Everything here just looks very. This is like a movie set of like a jail cell.
Yeah. So.
All of a sudden, this guy pops right up. He's been huddled there for 4 days. But as soon, there's no having to like stretch out the limbs or anything like that. No, they just pop right up. He's one of the superhero type of guys. Looks like the nicest looking prisoner you've ever seen in your life. I mean, this is a guy who I wish my neighbors looked as nice as this. Unfortunately, no, I have my brother-in-law is my doesn't look as nice as this guy. Looks like the nicest person, the most innocent, nicest. Oh my God, what an amazing man type of thing there with his well manicured fingernails. Very, very, very. He's had a rough go of it there. And totally just for the first time now. Being brought out since Syria was freed.
I'm a civilian, he says. I'm a civilian.
First thing he says is, I'm a civilian, because there was a concern he had that blonde lady was going to shoot him. So in order to ensure that blonde lady here is not going to shoot him, because that was his very real concern, he starts saying, I'm a civilian. No mas. Oh, wait, not Spanish? Which? Arabic? Okay. So here we go. This guy here now is he's finally been rescued. I'm a civilian, he says. So tell us more. This is very dramatic here, Clarissa.
I'm a civilian, he says. I'm a civilian.
Wow, those clothes are really clean. Wow. I mean, you would think, I have to tell you something, whatever this guy's been eating there, I mean, he looks really clean. Really, there's no stains anywhere. You would think he's urinating all over himself. I don't know if there's a bucket here in this. I don't know what kind of indoor plumbing they got going on there. I don't know. Maybe it's like the Mar-a-Lago bathroom they got there in this prison cell or something. That's why he looks so clean. It's an amazing thing.
He tells the fighter he's from the city of Homs and has been in the cell for 3 months.
Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
So now he's only reassured by blonde stranger lady that he doesn't know at all. cleanest shaved prison. Look at him. Like he's got that even line there. He's got the even line there. Look how short his hair is. Like seriously, look how short his hair is. Supposedly he's been there for months. Look how short his hair is. I don't know. They must have really fine barbers in Syria's prison system there. They're all speaking English. The gunshot didn't startle him. Yeah, I know. He's like totally asleep there. And then just totally gets up. Doesn't have to stretch or anything. Even though he's been huddled there for 4 days. It's an amazing human being. He's the healthiest prisoner.
Okay. He clutches my arm tightly with both hands. Okay. Does anyone have any water?
Anyone have any water? Oh my God, for the love of God. Why didn't we bring any water? Does anyone have any water? This is a rescue mission here. Florence Nightingale coming in here to save the prisoners who need water.
My. Okay, it's water.
I'm going to translate for you in English that Maya is water.
Okay, you're okay. You're okay.
You're okay.
We start to walk him outside. Thank God you are safe. Don't be afraid, the fighter says. You are free. This is the third prison they brought me to, he says. The third prison. After 3 months in a windowless cell, he can finally see the sky.
Whoa. Okay, kids, what's the flaw right here? What's the flaw? What is the flaw? What is the flaw here in this miraculous moment? What's the flaw? Look at them all looking at the sky together. For the first time, after 3 months in a windowless cell, he can finally see the sky. If you spent 3 days in a windowless cell and then you were brought out into sunlight, your eyes would be bugging out with blindness. And the very, very last thing you would ever think of doing is turning up to look at this. Oh my God. Just think for a second. If someone's been in a dark cell for 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, their eyes are so adjusted to darkness that they're just like that. It would take them 10 minutes before they'd be able to uncover their eyes. This guy comes right out. Son. Oh my God. In this perfect coat, no stains on it, no nothing. Everything looks like totally fine. They let him keep a coat, apparently, in jail. All right. Okay. Let him keep a coat, which is very convenient in case he would escape. He wouldn't be cold if he ever escaped from this. And this coat has 0 stains on it. I'm going to tell you this. Okay? I'm going to share a secret with you. I'm a pretty neat eater. 3 months in a cell, wearing the same coat, same clothes, which would stink to high heaven. My clothes would not look, after 3 weeks, not look that neat. Just wouldn't. 0 stains in his little fur-lined coat that he's got there.
انت حر. روح روح. يلا. حد اعصابك.
My God, the light, he says. Oh God, there is light. My God, there is light.
Oh God, there's light. Oh God, there's light. So stupid, CNN.
Stay with me. Stay with me. He repeats
Stay with
again and
me.
again.
Stay with me. I've never met you before, but I feel most comfortable in your care and your kindness. Very, very immodestly dressed by Muslim standards, American blonde lady.
For 3 months, I didn't know anything about my family. He says. I didn't hear anything about my children. The fighter hands him something to eat. He can barely lift it to his mouth.
Look at this.
But his body can't handle it. Okay, you're okay. His captors fled during the fall of Damascus, leaving him with no food or water. That was at least 4 days ago.
Look at his jeans, his brand new jeans. There's no stains on his jeans, nothing. These are jeans that like these jeans, he's worn them 3 times in his life.
I'm shaking. My face is shaking, he says. The rebel tells him there's no more army, no more prisons, no more checkpoints. Are you serious, he says?
Really? I had no idea. I was in that cell and I just thought everyone went on vacation. I just assumed everyone went on vacation. I didn't know. I didn't know anything was going on. Are you serious? And my fur-lined coat that they let me keep.
Surya Harra. Syria is free, he tells him. It's the first time he has heard those words.
I know his nails aren't even nothing.
He tells us his name is Adil Hurbal, and that officers from the much-feared Mukhabarat intelligence services took him from his home and began interrogating him about his phone. They brought me here to Damascus. They asked me about names of terrorists, he says. Did they hit you, the fighter asks. Yes, he says. As a paramedic arrives, the shock sets in. There's nothing. Everything's okay. The Red Crescent is coming to help you, this man assures him. You are safe. Don't be afraid anymore. Everything you are afraid of is gone. Tens of thousands of Syrians have disappeared in Assad's prisons. Up until 15 minutes ago, Adil Hurbal was one of them. He is still petrified. Don't be afraid, the ambulance worker reassures him. Every car I got into, they blindfolded me, he says.
Oh, I'm afraid of getting into cars now because every car I got into before, they blindfolded me. Oh my God.
It is the end of a very dark chapter for him and for all of Syria.
And for CNN. It's the end of a very dark chapter for CNN.
But so many ghosts remain.
You're a Joe Clarissa Award. You are a laughing stock of the internet. The internet cannot stop laughing at you. Congratulations to the end of... Welcome to the end of your career. For trying to pull this stupid, transparently false story as something that actually happened.
Jake, I have to say, I have been doing this job for nearly 20 years now,
and my career is about to end in disgrace.
Really was one of the most extraordinary moments that I have ever witnessed. We don't know why the regime of Bashar al-Assad took Adil Hurbal. He doesn't know why they took him. He was basically living a very simple life in the city of Homs in an area called Khaldiya. He said the Mukhabarat basically came to his house and said that there was some issue with people he had been making phone calls with. But we have to be very clear here. This is the type of thing where the Mukhabarat would take anyone with impunity. They would detain them, they would interrogate them, they would beat them, they would keep them for months, years on end. They didn't have to give a reason. You didn't even have to be an activist. You didn't even have to be part of the opposition against Bashar al-Assad. So many of the people, Jake, who disappeared inside these...
And you couldn't find any of them. Instead, you found this actor who you gave $50 to. $50 and a new coat to. And some new jeans, because, oh my God.
Dungeons were ordinary Syrians struggling to understand what on earth they had done to get there in the first place. We don't know where Adul Khurban is now. He got into that ambulance. We offered to give him our phones to call his family, but as you can see in that moment, he was in a state of profound shock. He wasn't able to collect himself to the point where he was able to get in touch with his family. But all of us, of course, are wishing that he is safely reunited with them, and that all of the prisoners who have been held for so long without any legal recourse, those who are alive will be returned to their loved ones soon.
My God, that is the end of a career right there. Goodbye, Clarissa Ward. Healthiest business I've ever seen. This is faker than incubator lies of the Iraqi. The actors in Mexican TV novellas are better actors. See this song for the first time and not squinting. A windowless cell. A windowless cell. Somewhere in New Jersey, they're looking at the drones. I'll come back to that. I'll tell you this. I live in Jersey. I live in Jersey. Oh, I'll pause and share this here with you. I live in Jersey, and so I'm familiar. I'm familiar with these Iranian drones. Okay, a lot of people speculating it's not from Iran. A lot of people are saying that these are American drones, and not Iranian drones. But they actually caught a still picture of the drones, and it's pretty evident these are definitely Iranian drones. It's like, don't tell me that's an American military drone. That is very definitely. You could even see it has all the earmarks of being an Iranian drone, not at all an American drone. So I don't know why people are talking out of it, just spouting off without any knowledge. If you saw a picture of one of them, you would know this is definitely Iranian. Please. This one killed me. This was just awesome. Just awesome. Very, very much a real picture of the drones. Very, very much a real picture of the drones. I don't know why anyone would question that. Why would anyone question that? Yeah. Perhaps. I sleep on the floor of cell for 3 months, but I'm clean, not a speck of dirt. 3 days without water is possibly fatal. Nothing about this makes any sense. Even Luigi Mangione peed his jeans. Yeah, that's what happens. I like the military guy advertising Mercedes. This will be seen as excuse. It was a recreation. No one's buying it. They didn't put actors in prison, apparently. First annual fake news propaganda award front. Yet so many ghosts remain. So CNN pulls a History Channel and is on their ghost hunters. I don't know. We don't know where he went and did not use his real name, so you can't find him. Yep. I ride my cars and it annoys me that tools like Ward make six figures when I put way more integrity into a piece about 53 Studebaker. I don't know what to tell you. She probably has better hair than you. His brother with the AK was your tour guide to the prison. This is his brother, so why would he need you to phone his close family? That's probably true. It's probably true. Let's hear the rest of this great report. There's 2 minutes left to it.
Tonight, CNN's Jumana Karacha is in Damascus, where residents are coming to grips with the uncertainty of the country's historic rebellion.
All right. I don't care about that part of this stupid report. Fake CNN. You're losers. You're a bunch of losers. There's no other way to describe it. And X is being very aggressive. If you put a search into X for a CNN fake, this video by CNN is faker than some Bigfoot. Does anyone believe this? CNN staging fake scenes? CNN having staged fake shots? Stay relevant. You're okay. You're okay. Trying to sell this. Lauren Cohn from CNN trying to sell it. Oh my God. I want to see if we can find the video of her lying on the ground during a rocket attack. There we go. He goes the whole. No, that's not going to be it.
Clarissa is on the ground right now. Clarissa, tell us.
This was
Clarissa
her
is on the ground right now.
when she was being bombed in Gaza.
Clarissa is on the ground right now. Clarissa, tell us what's happening.
Stand by.
Hi, John. So forgive me, I have a slightly unelegant position, but we have just had a massive barrage of rockets coming in here, not too far from us. So we have had to take shelter here by the roadside. We're just about 5 minutes away. Gaza is in that direction. We can hear now a lot of jets in the sky. We could also hear the Iron Dome intercepting a number of those rockets as they were whizzing overhead and making impact in that direction, not too far from here. We came to this location because this was ground zero for this entire operation of carnage. Hamas militants came on a pickup truck. This was the first place where they breached that border wall, and they basically drove down this strip, just spraying lead wherever they went. We saw, in fact, I was just grabbing it before that happened and we had to hit the deck, but heavy weaponry being used. It's saying we can get up now.
Oh, it's safe now? It's safe now? Are you sure it's safe now? Are you sure it's safe? Are you sure it's safe now?
Where are we moving to? Sorry, just 1 second, guys. Okay. All right, so now I can show you the scene here.
Line, please. What's my motivation? All right, you just got bombed, and now you're trying to get to now you're trying to save your life.
This is where those militants first came, opening up fire on all these.
Apparently not, Pam. Apparently they couldn't got. Apparently Tom was not. Tom Habibi Knox was not available. Apparently. Did you hear Trump invited Xi Jinping to his inauguration? Was on NHK News. Is he trolling or serious? I think he's serious. I think he feels like it'll impress Xi Jinping. Like, I want you to see me being crowned.
These vehicles. There's a baby carriage down there, turned over on its side. You can see over there, Clayton, if you just show in the distance there, some kind of strikes, looks like in Gaza as well.
4 billion miles away. Where's the smoke by you? Where's the smoke by you? You know how far away those strikes are? Do you know how far away those strikes are? You see how close, like, different puffs of smoke they are because they're bombing that area? That's like 5 miles away, at least. Just
return fire, or is that the smoke from the rocket launches? Forgive me. It's a little difficult after being crouched in a ditch to know exactly what's been going on.
Where's the smoke by you? Where's your smoke? Where's the smoke by you? Why don't we see that? Oh. Poor Clarissa. Okay, this is interesting. Every once in a while I'm in the middle of a show and I'll try to do a search like this, like CNN fake, just so we have an organic look at it. And we stumble on this. Justin Neil deGrasse Tyson warned CNN viewers that refusing to trust the so-called experts could put your life at risk. Doing your own research could have ultimately lethal consequences. Thank you, establishment hack.
It's not just always renewed engagement. It's also being paired with a growing distrust of people like you who do what you do for a living, who back things up with data and facts and science. People don't always trust it if it doesn't confirm, their suspicions of something.
Yeah, this is a problem going forward. It's the loss of people's trust in experts. I mean, let's put it just out there.
Oh, you mean just because like the COVID report that's coming out? Is that what you're talking about?
In that way. And that's odd because if something happens to the plumbing in your house, are you going to say, oh, I'll fix it? Or do you call an expert, right?
That really depends on the nature of the plumbing issue. That depends on the nature of the plumbing issue. It's actually a pretty good analogy. It really depends on the nature of the plumbing issue and how adept you are at following instructions. Doing your own research, because plumbing is something that you might actually look up and be like, I'm going to do my own research. I can handle this myself. A lot of people would. Just call. You see, in Ivy Tower, in Rich Boy world here of this guy who's an establishment hack, he's like, oh, of course, if the plumbing calls, what do? You have to call a plumber. You have to call. No, you don't. No, you really don't. Sometimes you do. That happens sometimes. Yeah, a heating issue. You're probably gonna have to call a plumber. But you're telling me over here, you have a plumbing issue that you just like you have a stuffed up toilet. You have to call the experts. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He would call a plumber.
Just ask yourself all the ways that you've engaged experts in your life. And then all of a sudden, you have access to the internet, and you say, "Well, I'm not going to trust experts. I'm going to trust my own research." Mm-hmm. That could have ultimately lethal consequences.
Really? I guess if you're an idiot,
if you're making decisions that affect your health and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I always trust the plumbers on that. I'm never trying to do anything myself.
Yeah, well, gotcha. Because Kirsten here, she trusts the plumbers. That tells you that science is that trust the science, no matter what the scientist tells you, no matter how many times he changes. Now, I'm telling you, YouTube wants me to tell you, when it comes to your own personal medical health, you definitely should be talking to a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. I don't know anything about medicine. I'm not claiming to know anything about medicine. But when folks say things like what Neil Tyson deGrasse is saying there, literally blows your mind. All right, maybe not literally. So, yeah. She's getting killed. Fake news by the queen of fake news and the fake news organization. I'm going to give that one a look. Well, there you go. So no one's buying it. And this is, you know what? We saw that in the election, frankly. Basically, America said we trust Trump more than the news. He spent the last 8 years calling you fake news. And finally, people are like, you know what? He's right. And the news is fake. And I think they're starting to come to terms with that. I think they're starting to recognize that that's what's happening here. That's what's happening. Because if America trusted the news, they would have thought Trump was a threat to democracy. That's what they would have thought. They trusted legacy media. But America has voted and said, we don't trust legacy media. We think they're full of crap. And the only ones they have to blame are themselves. No one else. No, it wasn't my doing. Is this CNN finally confirming that they're fake news like we've been saying forever? Talk about desperate. Yeah, it was very desperate. When I was deployed, we learned to ignore rockets and mortars unless they landed next door or closer. That's what I'm saying. There would be smoke. They'd be like, oh my God, here's where the rocket just hit. You can see the smoldering smoke coming up. Now, we're laying on the ground now. We had, and 5 miles away, there's some smoke where multiple rockets landed. She disgraced real journalists like Benjamin Hall, who was seriously injured in Ukraine, and his photographer Pierre Zarkowski, who lost his life. Yeah, she is. She's poser. My thoughts on having Xi there, it would beef up protection for the event and stop any deep state plot to sabotage Trump's inauguration. What say you? I'm strangely not concerned. I'm strangely not concerned that there's going to be some. I have a strange level of trust that he's going to be okay. I don't know why, but I do. Don't blame Neil. He's protecting his income. Yeah, he is. I like reading bottom scroll. It's funny. He needs to plumbing. He talks a lot. Ah, nice. Nice. Don't talk to me. I watched up to the third quarter. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. When I left, it was 6-3. I don't want to know anymore. I am playing Wellesley. First round of playoffs. We're playing. I would wish you good luck, but I'm not that good a sport. So I'm just going to say, may my team win. I'm not going to just like fake that, like, oh, I want you to have a good game. No, I want you to have a terrible game. I want you to have a lousy game. I'm not a good sport. After, if I win, I'm pretty good. I'm not like a crazy gloater. I'm not like one of those, yeah, in your face. I like, I might make a snappy comment or something, but we move along. But when we're in the heat of battle, I hope everyone on the team gets injured. That's all. I'm being real. Everyone. Thanks again, Black Science Man. Thank you again, Black Science Man. Trust the science. You mean the Heisenberg uncertainty principle? There's no. That's the thing, is that when they say trust the science, it's like, and then they say I am the science. That's the problem. That's the problem. I trust science. I just don't trust the people. Getting the right experts is based on professional track record, not career identity. Yes, exactly. Because I trust science, and you should trust science. But then the question is who the right people are. I guess if you're an idiot, Joe never underestimated the scientific law of stupidity. It's everywhere in high concentrations. Haven't you seen CNN? Yeah, well, I have seen CNN. I've seen their numbers plummeting. So clearly Americans are not as stupid as the media assumed they were. I'm full of YouTube certifying anything that needs fixing. God bless you. Thank you, Kathy. I got lots of stuff that need fixing. Lots of stuff that need fixing. Ramble on. Share with me something here. What'd you share with me? What did you share with me here? This is what Ramalon shared with me.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these vans. This is about as nasty as it's been. We had some vans like this last night, and then the eyeball this morning, we were not on TV. It was the dark and raucous.
That was good. That was really good. That was really good. That's pretty funny.
Fox News alert: the Justice Department just released the bombshell report that we've been waiting for.
Thank you.
What act?
We got your point, Jesse. Let's go. Said Clarence Thomas was in Joe's briefs. Hopefully. The trusted science people are referring to political science. That's the problem. That's the problem. It shouldn't be political science. If it's science, I'm good with that. I'm good with science. Trust the science. If you trust science, you're in a cult. You need to question science. Yes. 100 times yes. And if you don't allow questions about science, you're not science. If you do not allow questions about science, you are not science. The entire point of the scientific to what makes science is that it can be proven without fear of being mocked. It can withstand scrutiny. If it can't withstand scrutiny, it ain't science. That's the whole point. It should be able to withstand scrutiny, not be afraid of being attacked. Be like, no, I stand here proudly because I am truth, I am science, and I am proven. If a theory is proven, no one's afraid of someone questioning it. You just attack and you repel attack. That's what makes science science. Otherwise, it's religion. So, well said indeed. Well said indeed. But I got more for you. I don't know. We're gonna change gears here. I'm about to change gears. Did we get it out of our system? We talked about basically we decided legacy media and specifically CNN and more specifically Clarissa Ward that they're basically toast. We're on the same page there, right? All right. Dom Mannion hit me up hard. Pop this out. Pop this bad boy out. Saying, Joe, at no time in history has bad government been changed into a good government only by voting. True. I think that's historically true. But I don't think that proves a point. And the reason I'll disagree with you, Dom, is because the flaw here is not in the underlying system. It's in the way the system has been controlled. The political system we have here in America is superior to that which we have in recorded history. The problem is that it's been corrupted. So it's not the system, it's not bad government in the sense that the system is poor. It's bad government in the fact that the good governance has been corrupted. So in history, there's never been an American government. There's never been a government like the American experiment. Right? I mean, the world never saw a government like the American experiment before. It was very unlike any government ever. So, when we fought in the Revolutionary War, at that point in history, the British Empire had never been defeated in anything. America broke the odds. They broke history. For centuries, no one could beat Great Britain in anything. Their navy, their naval superiority, getting dominance over the entire globe. So things can change. And America has shown that it has capacity to. And then after we had that success, we implemented a system of governance which was so powerful that it changed systems of governance throughout the world, where they were mirrored, yet never equaled. Try mirroring us, but never equaled us, our system. And it worked really well for hundreds of years. There are little hiccups here and there. That's okay. That happens. You have bad governance in we've had bad presidents before, and that got changed with a good election. So, yeah. Sweeping out corruption, you're telling me it's impossible. Maybe you're right. It's possible you're right. But if anyone has a chance to do it, it's this government at this time with these sweeping changes. So, why not be optimistic? Why not be optimistic? Speaking of the weather, sent you a DM. Did you really? You sent me a DM. I'm looking for your tiger looks.
David Watson's been.
This is a weather DM. Let's see what you sent me.
Monitoring traffic, but first we go to Ryan Marshall, who's out monitoring the snowfall. Ryan, what's it look like out there?
Yeah, it looks like snow, just like I predicted in my forecast from the studio. I'm not sure why I'm out here literally looking around. It looks like snow. You could just take a video of it snowing and show that. Why do I have to be here to describe snowfall? It's pretty self-explanatory.
Seems like the cold has gotten you in an icy mood yourself, Ryan.
Okay, you know what, Shannon? I am in an icy mood, okay?
You know what, Shannon? That's pretty good.
Nice pun, by the way. All right, I was just standing out here for 20 minutes waiting for you guys to throw to me, and I was just doing some thinking. I spent $120,000 on a degree and 4 years in college to come out here and look around and describe what I see. I literally learned that in kindergarten. I Spy. It makes zero sense. Also, you know what else I was thinking while we're at it? When it's like a nice day or sunny, you never send me out to the lake or to the
show everyone what a sunny day looks like.
Pool for a live shot, but when there's a hurricane or snowing or a blizzard or a flood, send me out there. I'll cover it. Perfect.
I guess you have a point there, Ryan. We're looking at these reports and the forecast doesn't look good. People are worried. Have you spoken to any locals?
look around. Does there look like there's any locals out here? Everything is closed. Everyone is inside. The only reason I'm outside is to tell people not to come outside. What am I doing with my life?
Well, you sure are brave, Ryan. Any word on what we can expect overnight?
Yeah, more of this. Actually, 12 to 18 inches more of this. But don't worry, guys. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I got this sleeveless vest that you guys make me wear. My literal fingers are about to freeze off. I got frostbite, but oh, it's fine because we got the logo in the shot. Great.
That's not bad. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Why Trump need money for inauguration? I don't know why he needs money for inauguration. He's always asking for money. I don't dispute that. He's always asking for money. You can choose to give to him. You could choose not to. I'll tell you a dirty little secret. At this point in time, I choose not to. That's my personal choice. You can make your own choice. I personally choose not to. I'm like, I think he's got better. I think he's doing better than I am. That's my take. I think he's doing better than I am. He's had a rough go of it. I think he's doing okay. So I personally choose not to. There are other people I feel like could use my money more. Joe, let's get to the Biden pardons today. Some really bad people. Who? Which person that he let go was really bad? Tell me who they are. Who are they? I'm watching for you now. Tell me who they are. I know he pardoned like hundreds of folks today. This is what presidents always do during the last month of their administration. They pardon countless people of whom that we know nothing about their crimes. Hunter was unique because everyone knows Hunter. Thousands. Yeah. Yeah. Biden commutes roughly 1,500 sentences and pardons 39 people. Biggest single day act of clemency. This is who KJP calls, the very forgiving president. He's a very, very forgiving president. He's the guy who invented 3 strikes and you're out. But that's who he is. He's a very merciful person. Very merciful. The guy who stood up in Congress and basically said that, black super predators are out to kill you and your mother and my sister. So that's the very merciful. So we need to have 3 strikes and you're outlaws. That guy is the merciful one. He's the really kind one in bizarro lefty world. President Joe Biden's community sentence of roughly 1,500 people who were released from prison and placed on home confinement during the coronavirus pandemic and is pardoning 39 Americans convicted of nonviolent crimes. Is the largest single-day act of clemency in modern history. Yeah, hide your kids, hide your wife. They're pardoning everyone out here. The commutations announced Thursday are for people who have served out home confinement sentences for at least 1 year after their release. Prisons were uniquely bad for spreading the virus and blah, blah, blah. Biden said he'll take more steps in the weeks ahead, continues to review clemency petitions. Singer's largest day act of clemency was by Barack Obama with 330 shortly before leaving office in 2017. So there we go. And a stupid empty statement. about the promise of second chances because he's Mr. Second Chance guy. None of them got 10-year pardons. No one got 10-year pardons but Hunter. So yeah, I don't have much to add other than the headline itself. All right. So I don't have much on that. Maybe some of you all have other thoughts beyond my thoughts on this. Quote, at no point in history has bad government been changed by voting. Well, this is the first time for everything, Dom. Hashtag MAGA. By the way, what's up with the Jersey drones? We don't know. I already covered that. Gotta go back. I sent everyone, I shared a picture of them. I always watch those vids with the weathermen standing out in the hurricane to see if they get decapitated by flying metal roofs. Kind of like watching NASCAR hoping for the wrecks. That's not, it adds a little bit to the sport. You ignorant slut. Back in the day when SNL was funny. I know a bogus pardon the judge that sent juveniles to detention toilets in a facility lot he was a partner in. Really? I never heard of that one. Shannon Jin, Chinese national convicted of possessing literal baby grape corn pardons. Really? God. They calling that nonviolence. I guess the pedo releases are like nonviolence. Yeah. Great. Wunderbar. The world's a much better place now. Thank you for making the world a better place, Joe Biden. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, while Biden is busy pardoning folks, we got this going on, as reported by New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
We have 500,000 children who had sponsors in this country that we can't find. We can't find them. We don't know if they're doing child labor. We don't know if they're doing sex crimes. We don't know if they're being exploited. 500,000 children. There's a level of hypocrisy that everyone that states they want to protect everyone, but innocent individuals who are victims of crimes and children. I want to support and protect children and innocent people that are victims of crime. And those who don't understand that, it's not up to me to try to convince them. I know what my job is, my goal is, and I was clear of that while running and when I became mayor. Safety means everything to me. 500,000 children, we don't know where they are right now in this country. We have...
Astonishing. You heard it was 300, now it's 500,000. How is that even possible? 500,000 people that we have no idea where they are. I really would love if someone knows that, like maybe a guest I can bring on here, could walk me through what happens where these children are supposed to be. I don't even know what this means. How do they get lost? How the heck do they get lost? I'm going to ask Brock. How do illegal alien children? Maybe Grok will walk me through it because I seriously don't have an answer to this. Several complex factors and systemic challenges. Once unaccompanied children cross the border, they're placed under the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement until they can be released to sponsors. These sponsors are often relatives or individuals who agree to care for the child. However, the follow-up after placement can be inconsistent. After release, ORR conducts follow-up calls to check on the child's welfare, but there are instances where these calls are not answered or the information provided is outdated, leading to a loss of contact. 500,000 of these. Significant number of these children do not appear for their scheduled immigration hearings. The vetting process for sponsors has been criticized for being insufficient. Some children placed with sponsors who might not provide adequate care or might even exploit them. This issue is highlighted in hearings and reports. There is noted that the vetting process might not always ensure the child's safety post-release. What the hell how could there even be a market for 500,000 children? This is what I don't understand. You would think at a certain point the market would be saturated. Like, I feel like I'm so naive. I feel like I'm so naive. Some of you must be looking at me like, Joe. Yeah, I'm sure some of you are looking at me like shaking your head. How is whatever appetite there is, like, and what happens there? What, do they get killed afterwards? We don't find the bodies of these missing children. I'm not wishing for that to happen. I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't understand anything about this. This is so confusing to me. Grok says, but in summation, the loss of hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children involves a combination of insufficient follow-up after placement, challenges in the legal system, potential exploitation, and systemic inefficiencies in tracking and safeguarding these minors once they're released as sponsors. Two judges that took kickbacks from a juvenile prison that sends kids to that prison. Really? Wow. 3 Chinese nationals who pled guilty after having 47,000 CP images, even toddlers being R-worded. That's the ones most are talking about. Whoa. Why is the left so sick? I don't want to get into a bad mood. I know a bogus pardon, a judge that sent juveniles to detention centers he was partner in, and he got pardoned. Why are they so friggin' immoral? Shanlin Jin, Chinese national convicted of possessing literal baby grape corn. Pardon. Look at this. Look at this. Newsweek. Newsweek, who, by the way, did a story on me earlier this week. Did I share that? I don't know if I shared that story with you. Did I share that story with you? I should have read it here. Their coverage. Because I gave them a lengthy quote. I don't think I did. What's going on in the ghetto? There's something in the ghetto? Where is that promo like button? Yeah, no. All right. I'll share that with you real quick. I'll share
500.
That wasn't what I wanted. I'll share it with you real quick. Where is that woman who's reached out to me? Supreme Court won't lift gag order on Donald Trump, as reported by Catherine Fung, who did reach out for me for comment. And after I commented, she updated this article to read as it does in its current form. Supreme Court, Supreme Court has declined to lift the gag order imposed on President-elect Donald Trump as hush money case. A new order list released Monday, the court denied an application seeking to appeal a gag order set by New York Judge Juan Merchan. Application for stay addressed to Justice Alito, referred to the court, is denied. The order list said during his trial in New York, Trump was put under a gag order by Merchan, prohibited from speaking about jurors, witnesses, prosecutors, court staff, and members of their family. It does not bar him from speaking about Merchan, Manhattan District DA Alvin Bragg, who brought the case against the president-elect. Monday's Supreme Court decision means the gag order is still in place for now. The judge initially granted the gag order in March before the trial began at the request of prosecutors. They had argued the court should take all necessary precautions, given Trump's long history of making public and inflammatory remarks about the participants in various judicial proceedings against him. During the trial, Merchan threatened Trump with jail and fined him $10,000 following repeated violations. On May 30th, Manhattan jury found Trump guilty of 34 felonies, falsifying business records in the case. Daniel said she and Trump previously had a sexual encounter, which he has denied. Trump's lawyers are appealing the verdict and have asked Merchan to terminate the gag order because the trial is over. Trump was scheduled to be sentenced for his conviction last month, but it was postponed indefinitely. Trump's team moved to throw out the case entirely last month. If it is ultimately thrown out, the gag order would be lifted. He'd be free to discuss those protected by the order. Several efforts have been made to have the gag order tossed. An appeals court rejected Trump's own effort to have it lifted in August. Same month, a long shot bid from Missouri's Attorney General to have the order removed was also turned down by the Supreme Court. Monday's decision was made in regard to an application brought by Joseph Neerman, a podcaster known as Good Lawgic. Yay! Neerman was also involved in efforts to oppose possible gag order in Trump's Florida classified documents case. Good Lawgic was, not Neerman, but I'll let her go on that because it gets a little confusing between Neerman and Good Lawgic when you're trying to follow this case. So I didn't follow on that individually. Only Good Lawgic followed. Neerman's application argued the gag order should be lifted because it silenced the political speech of his presidential candidate. That's really Good Lawgic's, not Neerman, but okay. In response to Monday's order list, Neerman told Newsweek, quote, while the court denied Good Lawgic's emergency application, we're hopeful it maintains the important claim when it files the standardized application for writ. Neerman can resubmit the application to the Supreme Court of Initial Justice. It's filed to deny this application. He's already filed to Justice Clarence Thomas who could be more friendly in the application of one of the court's more conservative members. I don't think she understands that there's two separate applications. There's Good Logic and then there's Neerman. And that's why I think she's just glomming back and forth between the two of them. So potentially, yes, the court could hear the case at a later date or even grant relief, ending the stay, removing the gag order. Alex Badass, an associate professor at the University of Houston, a specialist in the Supreme Court, told Newsweek. Badass said his guess is the court will ultimately deny the application as part of its efforts to stay out of the political limelight. In recent years, the court reputation has suffered significantly as a result of the several controversial decisions that the bench's conservative majority has issued in the last couple of terms. This term, the Supreme Court has taken on a very small docket with only a few politically charged cases. I doubt the justice won't take on Trump's gag order and overturn it, he added. I think this would further polarize the public's view of the court. Gag order will likely end anyway, especially when Trump is sworn as president, and he would have immunity from any wrongdoings in his capacity as president, so gag order won't mean much then anyway. So with this in mind, the justices probably do not want to be a party to end the gag order, suffer any kind of political pushback as a result. Neerman has also filed a separate application in the Supreme Court, there we go, asking to lift the gag order, but this argument is more sweeping and affects every American, he told Newsweek. That is what I said. I said it's more sweeping. That application was referred to Justice Clarence Thomas, who distributed to the rest of the bench for conference later this week, which is actually in later today, technically. If not recognized by the court as an emergency, we'll file a standardized application for written hope to succeed using the more traditional route, Neerman said. This issue affects every American. If the government has a basis to silence the defendant because his audience is too large, they can employ that logic not merely to the Trumps of the world with an ex-audience of 95 million, but to your neighbor down the street who has an audience of 950 people, he said. They can make that claim against any and every one of us. Historically, when granted that power, that is precisely what governments do. There you go. That's a quote. That's me talking. I did write that. In a DM with her. I am. Well, Time. It was, he's Time Man. He's in Newsweek. Anyway, getting back to Biden here. He's Time Man of the Year. He became Time Man of the Year, in case you missed it. The left loved pointing out, it's like, so was Hitler. Hitler was also Time Man of the Year 85 years ago. So now Trump is too. Yeah, so was Obama. Twice. So if you want to offend him, you can just compare him to Obama. You don't have to go back 85 years. Not to say that Obama's as bad as Hitler, but why go back 85 years? You can be as horrible as Obama. And still become Time Man of the Year. Twice. And if you think Hitler is the role model for who Time chooses, well, that makes Obama twice as bad as Trump. So getting back to the Shenlin Jin pardon, another Newsweek article came out today. Several social media users, most identifying as Make America Great Again supporters, have expressed discontent with President Joe Biden's decision to grant clemency to a Chinese national pleaded guilty possession of thousands of child pornography images in 2022. Although the social media users appear to be reacting to news now, Washington and Beijing engaged in a prisoner swap 2 weeks ago in which the individual was exchanged. So that's why they're saying it's not really that big a deal because we already gave this guy back. According to the Justice Department, executive grant of clemency was granted by Biden to Jin on November 22nd. At least 3 Americans who have been detained in China were released and sent back home. We're pleased to announce the release of Mark Swedan Kali and John Leung from detention in the People's Republic of China, National Security Council. A spokesperson told several news outlets. Jin was a doctoral student at Southern Methodist University when he was arrested in 2021 and later sentenced to 97 months. For just over 8 years, which is horrifying how short it is. After pleading guilty to possession of child pornography before a U.S. magistrate judge in July 2022, according to court documents, his sentence also required him to pay $30,000 in restitution and $100 in assessment. Jin has family connections to China's Communist Party, according to reports, and everyone knows how close Biden is with China's Communist Party. as clemency grant said, he can't come back. Well, what if he walks across the border? What are we going to do then? What will we do then? What will we do then? Joe Biden has 499,000 in his basement sniffing their hair. But seriously, I don't understand how could there be a market for that many kids? How many sickos are there? Like, how many sickos are there? Seriously, how many sickos are there? I would think 20,000 of them. How many sick people are there? Pizzagate is another conspiracy that's going to turn out to be true. When you say 500,000 kids missing, it does give credibility. Cash for Kids judge Michael Conahan sent kids to detention. He was a partner in the center. Gross. Not tracking makes an easier path to citizenship. Maybe. I don't know. You're thinking that people want kids to raise. In fact, they're ended in rituals, fetish films, and snuff films that require a supply of kids. Not 500,000. I was assuming that they was being used for sick people, not by loving people. I was assuming that every one of them is being tortured mentally, physically, or emotionally one way or another. That's what I assume. Releasing criminals 1 month before Trump takes office is a good way to ensure crime gets worse as he starts firing FBI agents. You know, you talk about like how the numbers and how things work. I sort of like want to pin Democrats down because this is what invariably happens. If there's a good year, if there's a bad year, they'll be like, oh, you see, things are bad under Trump. If there's a good year, they'll be like, well, the first year after the prior administration is left over from the policies of the last president. So this is what we can anticipate is that they basically hedge their bet. And if we have a good year in 2025, they're going to try to take credit and assess that credit to Biden. If there's a bad year, they're going to be like, well, that's because of Trump. So I sort of like want to make them like pick their poison beforehand. Are you betting on a good year or a bad year? Majority of children between the ages of 14 and 17. So you're saying that people, I don't know. You're saying that there's a larger field for them? Your Newsweek, same, yeah. Oof, if only there were a browser that could block all those ads. If only there were. I don't know why no one invents something like that. I would use it like that. Like that. Matt Gifton, 5. Bringing 5 on home to me. Thank you, oh Captain, my captain. Who'd you bring on in here? Waiting for it to load, propagate. There it is. Following 5 people were brought into the following courtesy of Captain of Recruitment, Matt Skinner, Deborah Mellinger, Anna, Dustin Echoes, Enchiladas, and Sarah Schwartzberg. Welcome to the following. Not at all a cult. Type of cult. There's no Kool-Aid. There's no spaceships. No tracks suits that are mandatory. Not mandatory tracksuits, only voluntary, mild farm work, no stabbing yourself with the jabby jab. Kumbayas on Tuesday. No dancing around bonfires in the middle of a forest while shucking off your clothing. No harming others. It's not at all a cult. Type of cult. But welcome. Welcome, and please express your gratitude to Captain Mike. God bless you, brother. I believe lost kids are easier to claim as citizens, like human money laundering. I believe the exploitation is more like they represent a future workforce to offset our declining birth rates. How would they be? You just claim that this is some kid that I don't have a birth certificate for? Get a social security number? Joe, what do you think about Biden selling off the material for the wall? He did? Look, he's going to do whatever he can to basically be a douchebag over the next month. You just got to suck it up. There's nothing we can do about it. Just the way it is. Someone releases Diddy jail cell jail call allegedly where he tells his son to get rid of all the pizza boxes. Lots of things make Pizzagate seem real. There are lots of things that make pizza. The only reason Pizzagate doesn't, the more extravagant the claim, the more evidence people are going to demand. And the whole Pizzagate thing, the problem that they had is there was just too little evidence that was tangible to really give meat to it. There was text messages and all sorts of weird conversations and weird texts about, cheese pizza and things like that, and disturbing references to pandas. Which when I heard the explanation for the use of panda, I was both retching and furious. Some of you are probably don't bother looking it up. Don't bother looking it up. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. I apologize. I shouldn't even brought it up and just poison your mind with that. Mostly, it's not at all a cult type of cult. Why people even think such a thing? Anyway, I gotta start winding down because I'm starting to feel tired. So it's time for me to start wrapping this show. I got 1 or 2 videos I want to share with you here, just to make your weekend a little more pleasant. To make it a little more pleasant. That's what we do. So these are apolitical. I was going to talk a little bit about John Fetterman, but this guy's going to talk about John Fetterman in something that's somewhat funny. And this will be what I find increasing order of funniness. That's just my humor. You might agree, you might disagree. You might like the first one best. I got 3 vids I want to share with you. Relatively short, all 3 of them. First one up.
Maybe I will tell you about John Fetterman. On one hand, Senator Fetterman advocated for all the transing of the kids stuff, all about the socialism stuff. He's a climate freak type of person. But on the other hand, recently he's come out in strong support of Israel. He said that defunding the police is absurd. He's been a proud proponent of...
He got a True Social account today. True Social account. And his first post was, Biden needs to pardon Trump because those New York charges were ass. And all these charges were weaponization. And that's what he should do. No, I don't think that Trump should accept a pardon, frankly. I don't think he should accept a pardon at all. But, yeah. Because all of these charges are ass. But still, that's what the guys put out there.
Of 2A, and he's done a lot of things that a lot of conservatives would actually enjoy and like. What do you think happened between those 2 sides of John Fetterman? He had the stroke, but he also checked himself into a mental facility. I believe this proves that leftism and progressivism is a mental illness that can be cured with therapy. Maybe I will tell you about...
Maybe. It's a theory. It's a theory. All right, I'm going to just get this out of the way. I'll explain it. I'm going to hold my hand up while I'm explaining it. And when I put my hand down, I'm done explaining it. If you don't want to be grossed out, just mute me until I put my hand down. Just mute me until I put my hand down. When I put my hand down, that means I'm done explaining it. Okay? Seriously, if you don't want to be grossed out, because this is gross. So my hand is going to be the guy. When I put my hand down, that means I'm done explaining it. And you can just, feel safe to turn the mute off. All right. So I'm going to start explaining it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. The reference to panda that is used is because apparently when somebody assaults a child who is too young, like an infant, to actually get, be properly assaulted, and they force themselves upon such a young child, the ramifications are that there's bruising around the eyes of the child, so that by the time the act is completed, the child, as sick as it sounds, takes on the appearance of a panda because of the bruising around their eyes. If you don't think that that is something that makes you want to punch people in the mouth, and or far worse, to their genitalia, then yeah, there you go. But yeah, to me, that's when I heard that, I was like getting like just livid. Anyway, that's my explanation. I'm not going to be repeating it now after I put my hand down, because I think some people actually might have muted. So for those people, I'm just done talking about it. I don't even want to see super chats on it, because I feel I don't want to have to read them to anyone. So please just don't send any super chats on it. And there we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are back. So there you go. And that's why people need wood chippers. That's why some people need to be wood chipped. Can we get back to things that make you laugh now? Can we do that, please? A conspiracy theory exists to give a narrative to an observed phenomenon with no public narrative. The specific facts are incorrect. Epstein and Diddy, the narrative was real. The facts were different. No, that makes sense. Okay, I can accept that. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said today on the Ingram Angle that he's buying all the wall materials and donating them back to Trump. If Trump's going to use it to put maps on a wall, I think that's great. That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny if he did that, though. He's saying if he's trying to sell them off. All right. I got two more things that I found to be funny, which are not remotely related to politics. Not remotely related to politics. Pretty short too. This is the best video game ever invented for women. The one game that they can really excel at. And go team. There you go. Thought some of you would enjoy that. And finally tonight, we're back with chat music. I don't really enjoy it. I some of it I'm starting on numb to, but this one just made me laugh. I stumbled on this one right before the show, and I was just laughing out loud. So I apologize in advance, but this is chat music, and this is just pretty funny.
You feel rejected by society.
Bro, can hear the colors, bro. Thinks mute is too loud, bro. Can hear sign language, bro. Invented, hear me out, bro. Heard the joke before somebody said.
Heard the joke before
bro. Heard the news before they even spread it, bro. It's the definition of I'm all ears, bro. Move out of the way, I can't hear, bro. Always hear you loud and clear. We don't even have to let bro near, bro. Listening, bro, takes his earwax out with the spoon and whisper around, bro. Bro can't hear the earth move. Now some be using bro to hear any incoming threats. One time he's done, bro. Never says, can you repeat? Bro's about to fly away. My laptop heard Victoria's Secret. No alarm clock needed. Bro can hear the sunrise. Bro can hear back in time. Bro can hear the comments. Don't listen. Listen to the hate, keep it up. We can hear you, leave some sound for the rest of us. Shut it.
It's a little mean, but it's funny because it's true. Yeah. Cleaning his earwax with a spoon. Podesta was Chester Bennington's bio dad. Art his mom, and he was product of that. Also, he is Rockefeller's son. Just look up the comparison. Okay. I don't know about that one. Homan says he's deputizing every American to help find all the missing kids. He says there's 320,000. Interview Ben Berkwim. He knows all the border stuff. Love you, Joe. Yeah, let's laugh a little bit. And that is our show for the week. That's our show for the week. There you go. I got one more comment here from Denise. Barrett boy. What about the vote to change from the Articles of Confederation? Oh, that worked. That was voting out a bad government. Good job. Good job, Barrett boy. Good job. Take that, Don Mannion. Take that. All right. No, I'm not talking about Lily Phillips. All right. That's my show. I'm sticking to it. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be here because it's Friday. I got like a little celebration party thing going on for my grandson. My daughter's son, my grandson. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be on with Eric or not. I told him I'll try to make it. But the only way you'll know is if you're at goodlogic.locals.com. That's goodlogic.locals.com. Those of you who are wondering what happened to the show last night, I should just explain. If you're still here, I just want to explain to you that the show that I had yesterday, I realized that with everything happening with Supreme Court, I'm not in a really comfortable position to actually give my thoughts about what I was hearing, and didn't want anyone to take offense at anything that I said, so I yeeted everything. Just because I was like, you know what, some people are oversensitive and they're going to take my reaction out of context, and perhaps it can negatively impact my application to get forced SCOTUS. So, where it shouldn't, because I wasn't doing anything wrong or being in any way disrespectful for the court, because I have the utmost respect for the Supreme Court. But in order to not risk having some sort of negative outcome result from my coverage, I decided I'm not leaving that up there. So I made it private on YouTube, took it off of Rumble, took it out of X. And didn't want that to happen. Why would that happen? Why would that happen? Why would that happen? There's like, why? Why? Why would that happen? I don't understand. I don't understand anything about this. I don't see it in my locals. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm looking at locals now and I don't see it there. Charles hitting me. God bless you. That's a nice weekend present right there. 20 Good Logic memberships. 20. Following people brought in courtesy of Charles Coe. Charles Coe hitting me with 20 new members in the following. Why don't I see them? Oh, it's propagating here in my chat. Come on. Propagate. Following 20 people brought in courtesy of Charles Coe. That includes Dan Cunningham, Corrine Drake, Jay Spike. Just incredible. Oh no, it's jumping on me. Mr. Glocky McGlockface, Supergirl, Penny G, Alessia G, Amanda K, Stephen Brown, Bo Hoover, Becca Has Thoughts, S-Bar 0024, Colonel Canuck, Dirt Cheap, Willie D, Supernova 2016, Freedom Lover, Daniel Gygax, and Cecile. Welcome to the following, which is not at all cult type of cult. It's just a gathering of like-minded individuals who all basically contribute to the greater good of our society, which is dedicated towards greater personal growth for a very small a small percentage of your earnings. And we help train people how to have, find real happiness out of life through personal growth and using strategies of community and unity and leadership training in order to help acquire that lofty aspiration, which is really what the essence of man is all about. But I'm telling you, it's not at all a cult type of cult. It's not at all a cult. I'm definitely not the leader of the following. I'm just your host. Welcome. Please express your gratitude to Charles Coe for his very gracious gift, which likely is life-altering for you. Likely, there's no guarantee, but is likely life-altering for you. That is my show. And thank you again, Charles. I'll give you one more horn. Just because I can. I like ending with a horn. I hope to be back, God willing, on Saturday night. Till then, my friends, I say to you, have a good night, phenomenal weekend, and as always, Godspeed.